Hey guys, today's video we're going to look inside the front diff of a 2500 GMC Sierra. So I pulled the diff out, moved the power steering box. There's 4 bolts holding the front diff in, plus the axle shafts, 1 connector. Way to go, pretty self-explanatory. But we're going to pull into this, and we got these 4 bolts or 6 bolts, and then we got this lower case. So let's pull it apart. We'll get the bolts out of the stub shaft. Let's have a look. These are the guts that you're gonna find. The stub shaft stays in here. There's a snap ring in there. This is the donkey dank that actuates the front differential and slides this piece up to lock it to the other shaft, which is right there. And it looks more, yeah. So you can definitely see that the stub shaft's broken inside the bearing gear here, and it's broke off the nipple here. So there's that piece. So this spring actually helps release the bearing. So this goes around these teeth. So when you hit your 4-wheel drive switch, it actuates this, pushes this up, locking the 2 diffs sides together, and that's how the Chevy front diff works. But I gotta tear into this more. We'll see in a minute. Okay, here we go. We got all the bolts out. What I did was I just used a small hammer to hammer the case apart. Just get one corner going. Give it a couple smacks and get a pry bar in there. Careful not to damage it too much, because you're just going to be using anaerobic sealer to seal that case half up. So this diff has 350,000 K on it. It was leaking at the bottom side over here a little bit, so we're going to seal that up. Let's have a look inside. Okay, here we go. We got the case halves apart. That gear is, I don't know if that's going to come out or stay with it, but yeah, let's have a quick look. Came out with it. And there's our diff. So what's going on here? Okay, so we need this shaft. We're gonna need the stub shaft that goes inside the differential. Bearings look pretty clean. There's not a lot of wear on that diff, surprising. There's a little bit of scoring on this bearing, just a touch, but I think we're gonna be all right. Yeah, drive shaft input comes in here. Spins this carrier. That carrier rolls this shaft. That shaft gets hooked up to this shaft. Put power to that shaft, which hooks up to CV shaft, which goes through your hub and your tire, and away you go. Power, 4-wheel drive. Okay, so we're gonna disassemble this side, because this is what the problem was with the front diff. So the stub shaft piece broke. Nipple broke right off the end, which holds into that piece. So it keeps them aligned. So first take this out. That's your spring assembly. Next is there going to be this down here. It's washer. Dig it out. You kind of need 2 hands to do it. So I'll do it. Here we go. Oh, splashing. This little snap ring's sometimes a bit of a limey. Okay, so that's how we get that snap ring off. And then these come out. Oh, we dropped something. There we go.
Oh no?
And then the shaft pops out like so. Oh, might need a little more force, but there it is. Stuck in there with the mud.
Great job, Derry.
Thanks, cousin.
Welcome, cousin.
Let's get the seal up. Putting the seal back into the housing. I put a little grease on those needle bearings, you know, just to make sure here. But what I'm gonna do is just use a hammer